Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Shakayla. I create and share delicious plant-based recipes. If you're returning, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. This week's video, so I've told y'all about these enchiladas before. Jackfruit enchiladas. We are making some white jackfruit enchiladas. I feel like I say enchiladas kind of weird. Enchiladas, and they are so good. These are by no means authentic, but I've made them in the past using like vegan, well, store-bought vegan chicken. But the other day I made them using jackfruit and they were so good. So we're about to get into it. But first, let me show y'all everything that you need in order to make this. Here's everything that we will be using for these enchiladas. And this is excluding the seasoning. So I have some cilantro right here. I like to add this to my jackfruit, and I'll show you guys how I make my jackfruit as well. But I like to do the Better Than Bouillon No-Chicken Base. You don't need a lot because a little goes a long way. I have 2 cans of jackfruit. We have a yellow onion, some tortillas. This is some green enchilada sauce. This is some green chilies. We also have some dairy-free sour cream and vegan cheese. So I'm gonna start off by taking the jackfruit and we are just going to drain it. This is what the jackfruit looks like once you remove it from the can. But the first step and what I like to do is I just open this up and I remove the seeds. So you can see, you don't have to, but I just like to remove the seeds. I don't care to eat them, taste them while I'm cooking. So I just do that with all of these. And once you get rid of all the seeds, then you're just going to rinse the jackfruit very thoroughly. We're gonna bring some water to boil. Now, if you have vegetable broth, you can definitely use that instead. But as I mentioned, I have that Better Than Bouillon No-Chicken Base, so I'm gonna be using that as my broth. And we have this pot because we are about to simmer our jackfruit in here. So I like to simmer the jackfruit in the broth mixture. I add in some onions as well as garlic. So we're just gonna prep that really quick. I do that and it really does help get that briny taste out. Now, when I had this last time, when I tell you it was so good, it was amazing. So I know y'all are gonna love it. All right, so the water hasn't started boiling yet, but I'm just gonna add in those onions. We have about 2 garlic cloves. If you have more, I would probably say like add 3, but I'm just gonna plop these in here and let that come to a simmer. Now that the broth is starting to simmer, we're going to add in the jackfruit. And even if you didn't want to make the enchiladas, this is the same process that I follow whenever I'm cooking with jackfruit. Okay, and then in here, we are going to make our cheese sauce. So our jackfruit has been simmering for about 20 minutes. Now we're just gonna remove it from the pot and add it to a baking sheet to go in the oven. And I know you're probably looking at it like, girl, where is the seasoning? Don't worry, it's coming, I promise. So now we bake. So now that the cheese has started to melt, now we're gonna start seasoning. I'm adding some black pepper. Also gonna do a bit of salt. I like adding nutritional yeast, garlic powder, and a bit of onion powder. We're also gonna add in some vegan sour cream and then whisk. Also to the cheese sauce, we're gonna add about ½ a cup of green chilies. And at this point, you'll want to taste and adjust based off of your preferences. All right, so now I'm just gonna cut up the jackfruit. You can honestly, you could have done this before you even started cooking with it. Just be careful if you're cutting it when it comes straight from the oven because of course your pan may be hot. So I removed the broth from the pot that we were simmering the jackfruit in. I added in some oil and now we're going to cook up our jackfruit. Now we're just gonna season it with some cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, black pepper. I'm gonna add in about 1/3 cup of green chilies. And then this is completely optional, but because I like to include a green in just about every meal that I have, I'm gonna add in fresh spinach. All right, so we're adding some green enchilada sauce at the bottom of this dish. And then once we finish rolling the filling in the tortillas, we'll add it to this dish. So we're gonna add in the filling, and then I like to add in a little bit of that cheese mix on the inside as well. Not too much because we do pour it on top, but just adding it inside just really takes the flavor to a whole nother level. Y'all, I can't wait for those to be done because I know they're gonna be so good. Oh my gosh. If you saw my video where I made them during one of my what I eat in a week videos, I was so impressed with the taste. So impressed with the taste. But in this portion of the video, it's just like very, very small. I wanted to just give like a few tips, tricks, things to be mindful of. I forgot to mention this early on, but with the jackfruit, you'll probably notice this even when you take it out the can. There is a part on the jackfruit that is harder than the rest of it. That's like right here. Like it's still pretty soft, but it's not as soft as like the flaky pieces of the jackfruit. You can cut that off before you even start to cook with it, or you can just cut it up very thinly, so thinly sliced. That's what I did when you saw me cutting the jackfruit up. But I just want to call that out because it is harder than other pieces. You can even just rip it apart like that. So completely up to you. Number two, I did have a little bit of the jackfruit left over. Honestly, you can cook this even further. You can add a sauce to it and put it in tacos. That would be really good, or even like a wrap. So if you have any jackfruit left over, just get creative, find different ways to use it. Okay, so regarding the actual products, like the store-bought products that I use and what I would recommend for the dairy-free sour cream, the brands that I would recommend are either Forager, Kite Hill, or Follow Your Heart. But I would say that the Forager and Kite Hill brand are my favorite as of now. And then as far as the vegan cheese, I tend to use the Chao creamy shreds, or you can do the Chao creamy slices. If you do go with the slices, I would just recommend putting them in a food processor. And then as far as the tortilla shells, I actually use tortilla shells from the brand Siete. I use their almond flour ones, but you can use whatever it is that you can find, whatever you have access to, and whatever you prefer. But I think that that is it on the tips and notes and things that I wanted to mention. I'll see y'all in just a second. Y'all, doesn't this look delicious? Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to dig in. I love cilantro, so I'm just gonna add a whole bunch. All right, y'all, we're about to try it and see how it tastes. I mean, again, I made this before and it was delicious. I've also done a similar recipe with like a store-bought vegan chicken and it was also delicious. So we're about to taste this. Make sure it's as amazing as I remember it to be. Yes, yes, yes. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, here we go. Y'all, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my. This is amazing. Okay, I don't want to eat this whole plate on camera, but you need to try this. It is chef's kiss. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to finish. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you try this recipe because I know that you're gonna like it. I know you're gonna love it. Your family will love it. This is so good. I'm ready to finish eating. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and I will see you in the next video.